Gotta.
Really? Please explain.
Oh, what do you mean?
I
Being
want
white
to
girl
go from
wasted?
running a barbecue business to white girl wasted. Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Welcome back, guys. Episode 29.
Episode 29.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's going on in Iowa today? Is it still cold?
Freaking cold. Yeah. It's supposed to start getting warm tomorrow.
Really? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got up this morning like I do in Florida. I always get up and go on a 2-mile walk every morning while I'm here. And, it's, 69 degrees here. And this morning, it's going to be really cold today, according to the locals. It's only going to get up to 80. But
Must be
I'm
nice.
on my walk. I'm on my walk in my t-shirt and shorts. And here's all these old people in thermal winter coats.
Isn't that crazy?
Riding their bikes and walking in full down gear. And I'm like, they're looking at me like, northerner.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always thought that stuff was interesting.
But a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. I was walking as the sun was rising, and the sun doesn't rise till like 7:30, 7:45 here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a nice, beautiful walk, nice, cool breeze. And
We had a pretty sunrise too today.
yeah, just walked through the harbor. Lots of fun. Haven't really accomplished much down here at all. Been looking at some new catering software. Spent a lot of time doing that.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when you've been with a catering software for 10 or 12 years now, and you're trying to make a change and get more current with software and stuff. It's just the thought of it is just going through another startup.
Mm-hmm. You've been with Total Party Planner that long?
Yeah. I think we started with them back in 2000. Wow, 2000, maybe 12.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
I didn't realize it was
that, but yeah. We were because we started the big restaurant in 10, and so we've probably been there since 2010 actually.
Really? That's kind of crazy to think about.
But they kind of refuse to, a big segment of our business, not a big segment, but I think a getting bigger segment of our business is online ordering and the ability to place an order online and pay online and all this other stuff. And they've been very slow and very, I don't know, just haven't really seemed interested in. They've got the pay thing finally introduced, but the whole where the customer enters the order, their whole business model's designed around big events and weddings and rentals and China and all that stuff. And we only use like a tenth of what they do. We're just looking for the express version. So I've been looking for 2 years. I have yet to find anything that even resembles. People do a really good job on the front side, and it's nice and it looks beautiful for the customer, but everything on the back side just stinks.
Yeah.
Because you still have to execute it in the kitchen. As big as our kitchen is, we still have to be able to take an order and break it apart, so side dishes are going one way and meats are going one way and desserts are going one way and that sort of stuff. So you got to be able to break it apart into different segments to get it prepped. Yeah. And then, pull it out. So it's hard.
So you haven't found anything that shows any sign?
I found one actually. I found one. I did an hour-long demo with the owner yesterday. It's 90% of what we need. And so now I'm trying to figure out if I want to make a play at them and say, hey, let's design this all the way, front and backside. You've already got the front end. Bring me into this thing as a financial partner, and let's finish designing the other 10%. right? To give them some incentive to be able to do that instead of me going out and trying to build what I want on my own. Because what I want is what all my friends want too. Over at Porky Butts and Shigs and Pit and Getting Basted and all these all these competition guys that own barbecue restaurants, Slaps. They all want the same thing. We all want the same thing. Just nobody can deliver it.
Right. And maybe that's what, maybe having, someone that would actually use the back end and understands what needs to be in there for other customers or having someone help with that would probably be best.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out if they'd bite on that or not, but rather than us just being a customer, because ultimately these guys, they designed a software already for the service industry and ended up selling it off. And so then it's like, okay, let's build another software. And they had interest, and neither one of them had any experience in the catering industry, but they had a lot of friends that did. So now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Hey, I'm going to shut off this dishwasher. It's driving me crazy. Hey, okay. Sherry,
we can't hear it.
Hey, Sherry, we're going to shoot the podcast. Okay, let's start the dryer and the dishwasher at the same time in my background.
Oh, jeez. We can't even hear it, so it's just a him thing. It's always just a him thing.
I can hear it. You can't hear it. I know you can't. We got all these fancy mics. Okay, I'm much better now.
Right on.
Life is good.
Life is good. Yeah.
Okay, did you get your jet lag? Are you over your jet lag?
It actually hit me more last night. So I got back Sunday. Today's Wednesday. Last night I went to bed at 7:15. I just it hit about 6:45, 6:50, and I was looking at my dog and I was like, "You're on your own, man. I gotta go to bed." We hadn't been doing anything anyway, but yeah.
I'm getting really bad in Florida because when I'm in Florida, when I'm in Iowa, I'm a 7.5 hour guy, right?
Yeah.
You go to bed at 8:30 or 9, get up at 4:15, 4:30. That's just that's my gig, and I feel like that's when I'm at my prime. If I get 7.5 hours sleep, I feel like I am totally rested. And then we come down here and I wake up, and because, the sleep machine tells me how long I've slept, and you wake up and it's like 10 hours. And I'm like, I cannot. And then you feel like shit all day because I'm sleeping too much.
Yeah.
But
do you just not have any, why do you, because you're not like an alarm guy, are you?
I'm not an alarm guy. But it's so dark. And it's always dark, and it's always dark in Iowa too. But I don't know. I'm not sure why. It just
because you feel like you're on vacation mode.
Yeah, but I'm not really. I don't know. It's weird. But I tend to sleep more in Florida, and I don't like it. But it's like, what am I gonna do? Get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and sit there, and you go outside in the pitch dark. You don't want to interrupt everybody that's in the house.
Yeah,
which was just Sherry last night, but.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. I'm tired today.
You're tired.
I'd pull out an energy drink.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I only got 2 sips into my Jamaican Me Crazy coffee.
You never got me any of that, by the way.
I didn't?
No, you said you were going to, and you never did.
What a bummer. Do you have a coffee grinder?
No, I think that was why.
No.
Can't you get it pre-grind?
Yeah, I was just there yesterday. I went to the roastery and ordered coffee and had them ship it to my house.
Nice.
Because if you buy 4 pounds of coffee, it's free shipping.
That's a lot of coffee. That's a lot of coffee.
I mean, that'll last
4
me
pounds?
a couple months. Well, it'll last me a couple months. I only have 1 cup a day.
Oh,
that'll last me a couple months.
That's sad. Only a cup a day?
Yeah, I just have 1 Yeti cup here. One Yeti cup in the morning.
That's why I like my work from home days, because I'll probably have 3 or 4 cups. I have to make a full pot.
Yeah, well, I'm hand pressing. It's a little harder.
That's fair.
It's a little harder.
That's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, I just haven't felt right when I was down here. My stomach just keeps turning ever since I got here, and I've been trying to figure out what the deal is. And the first day we got here, Sherry made this Texas sheet cake. You ever had Texas sheet cake?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Recently too. It's delicious.
It's like crazy good. And Sherry had never made it, but it was Brian Luke's birthday. It's actually his birthday the other day, so she made him a Texas sheet cake before they arrived. And so and I've got this whole lactose intolerant bullshit that goes on that I can't have any milk. I can't really have any cheese. So I've been kind of nibbling on this Texas sheet cake. Okay, I've been eating 2 or 3 pieces a day, right? It's on the counter, right?
Dude.
So anyway, I can't figure out why my stomach's upset. And I'm like, told Sherry, I said, maybe it's that Texas sheet cake. She goes, well, there was only like 8 tablespoons of milk in there and in the whole cake. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to eat any today. So I didn't have any yesterday. Feeling pretty good last night. And then we got some candy for the trick-or-treaters.
Oh, my God.
Right? And so we got the 100 grand bars or whatever. We were going to do fruit by the foot. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty lame if anybody shows up. Well, of course, we're in this neighborhood.
I would have rather gotten a fruit, than 100 grand bar.
So we had
fruit by the foot is superior.
We had both. Of course,
rightfully so.
0 trick-or-treaters because we live in senior citizen neighborhood and most people aren't even back. You know, half our neighbors are from Canada and whatever, or upstate New York or Jersey and whatever. Hell, they're not even down here yet. So it's just Sherry and I, and there's one other neighbor that are here. Everybody else is gone. So dark. No trick-or-treaters. So I'm like, might as well try out these 100 grand bars. So I had 2 or 3 of the little miniature ones last night. Sure enough, I wake up feeling like shit this morning. I'm like, God damn it must be the chocolate.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'd be that sensitive that milk chocolate would bother me.
That's kind of what comes with the territory of being lactose intolerant.
God. And then I went off the hook yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
I bought almond milk.
I have it. Yeah, it sucks.
I swore I would never. Oh no, it wasn't bad at all. I actually
it sucks when I had to make that change when I started Farrell's, and I was like, this isn't milk. I mean, it's fine, but it's not.
I didn't think it was bad. But I was craving Cheerios, and how do you eat Cheerios for breakfast without milk? Right? You can't.
Right.
Well, you can if you're 1 year old. You know, Henley likes Cheerios,
I could eat. Yeah, I could probably eat them without milk.
Yeah, but I wanted milk, so I'm like, hey, Sherry, let's try this. Well, then of course you got 50,000 different options of oat milk and almond milk and
especially if you're in Florida,
pistachio milk and And so you get down to, okay, I'm just going to do the almond milk. Okay, well then do you want the unsweetened? Do you want the sweetened? And I'm like, what?
I do unsweetened.
I got the unsweetened too because I'm like, I don't want it to be sweet. But I'm like, next time I think I should try the sweetened a little bit. Maybe if it's not too sweet. Because I'm thinking the sweetened maybe tastes more like milk.
Yeah. Because I normally order almond milk nowadays in my coffee too. And I'm curious
just because that's the bougie thing to do?
No, because I'm not supposed to have milk. I still try to stick to my diet a little bit. I've started to fall off quite a bit. I spent a week where I just ate pasta, so there's that.
But it was healthy pasta, remember?
Yeah. But I feel like I can't taste a difference between when I make it at home versus when I get it at like Starbucks. But between the sweet and unsweetened. But also I don't know if they're using sweetened milk. You'd kind of assume they are, but
interesting.
It makes my coffee taste like burnt popcorn. I do know that much. And maybe that's just a me thing, but that is how it
So why would you put it in there?
Because I feel like I have to. I've started to get back to my old coffee routine, but
why would you put it in there if it tasted like
because
burnt popcorn?
Sometimes I can't just do straight black coffee. It just doesn't. Sometimes I just need it to be a little less intense.
You just need better coffee.
I get great stuff.
You're making me crazy.
I get the it's Community from Louisiana.
Yeah.
My aunt sends me the King's cakes or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I could probably actually do that one black.
I have some of that in my cabinet.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is good, but it's not near as good as You're Making Me Crazy.
I believe it.
But I learned a lot about coffee yesterday too, because I walked into the coffee. I walked into the coffee roastery, and man, they are roasting coffee on full bore, and they got these huge grinding machines, and they're pumping out because they do not only they just have a little retail store that's really a closet that you can walk in and buy stuff. But I wanted to order it, so I went in. And they're like, oh, you want us to ship it? Let's take you down to the office on the other end. So I went and started talking to this gal about the coffee. And I said, I'm just addicted to You're Making Me Crazy. And I was trying to get what beans and whatever. And she goes, all this flavored coffee is just sprayed. I'm like, huh? And she goes, oh, yeah. She says, we just take Brazil. Most everything comes from Brazil or Guatemala. The coffee gets sprayed with different flavorings. So your pumpkin spice coffee is really just coffee that the beans get sprayed after they get roasted.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that they were just growing pumpkin spice beans.
Yeah. It's all the same kind. It's all the same. I wasn't sure that it was a sprayed thing. I didn't really know what. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
She says, but they had this Jamaican, what's it called? Blue Mountain or something. I said, what's that? And she goes, that's authentic coffee. That's but it was like $58 a pound.
Oh, shit.
Almost pulled the trigger on that one, but I didn't. I kind of hinted to Sherry last year at Christmas time. I'm like, look at this one. This one might be a nice Christmas present. I never got it, though, so I'll have to make her.
Try again this year.
Yeah. Now that I got to get in the Christmas spirit because Halloween's over and we skip Thanksgiving.
Dude. Well, I saw somebody, they already put up their Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And all their stuff. And I was like, you're the worst.
I just wanted to slap
them. I'm like a put my Christmas tree up the week before Christmas and take it down the next day kind of person. Or I get lazy and I leave it up until the middle of January. Depends. But I don't put my Christmas tree up until like right before Christmas.
I wouldn't put
most of the time. Last year was a little weird.
Sherry makes because of the grandkids, but she will put it up. She'll probably put it up the day after Thanksgiving because I was like, hey, let's fly to Florida the day after Thanksgiving. Oh, I don't know, kind of a busy day. Well, I know she wants to put the Christmas tree up, and then it'll be up. But we won't be home, and then on Christmas Day, as soon as everybody's gone, it won't be 5 minutes. Let's take the tree down. She is just
that's a little intense.
She is like ninja about we're over. We're done.
I'm kind of weird. I don't like to decorate Christmas trees. I'd rather just like leave the lights on and that's it. Like just a nice white light and then that's it. And now I'm to the point of where I'm an adult, so I bought a fake one and I just fold it up, put it in a box, send it to my parents and say,
oh, you're parents for storage.
I don't have storage. My house is tiny. I'm waiting for a shed, but my brother wants to build it. Who knows how long that'll take.
Okay. Well, enough about us.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is our podcast. But...
It is. Well, it's your podcast.
So what's everybody been, getting any feedback, any requests from people about what they want to hear and what they want to talk about?
Yeah, we did have a question on YouTube. That was... Oh, who's it by? Hold on, let me find out who it's from. I just have the question. It was from... Scott, wasn't it from? I can't even find it now.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a question about how do you make the leap from being a new competition team doing 3 doubles in 2 years to 20-ish events while balancing starting a new barbecue trailer business, but like kind of the whole how did you balance you know,
how do you balance this? Because the competition's the fun part, and the work is, it's fun to start, and it's fun to start a business. Don't get me wrong, but it's work, and they conflict. They conflict a lot. They even conflict today, right? But it's truly a balance. So back when we started, first I had a business partner because I knew nothing about the restaurant business. So I brought on a business partner that kind of ran the daily operations. I was oversight. But we were only open 5 days a week. We were only open Monday through Friday. Now, we might cater stuff, but we were only open 5 days a week, even though if we were there, we were in the restaurant 7 days a week. But we were only 5 days a week. We were just Monday through Friday.
I didn't know
because
that.
we tried to compete on the weekends. And a lot of times if we had caterings, Shad didn't compete a lot. So at that point, he only competed 4 or 5 times a year. So I ended up going out and doing the competition, and he would stay back and do the catering. But, that's what his salary, and that's what he got paid for. And so it was a balance. But where we really hit the home run, I think, was we found a bunch of competitions that you could vend at, right? So we both could go do competition barbecue, and we could vend at the same time. So we would bring in a crew of family. Most of the time it was family, and they would do all the vending. We'd get up early in the morning. We'd be cooking and doing all this stuff, plus doing the competition. And then our family would serve it while we were doing turn-ins. Nobody would interrupt us during turn-ins. And then we'd go back into vending mode. Right. So, there was a lot of, like, Waterloo, Iowa and Mason City, Iowa had huge festivals that we would cook a huge amount of ribs and pork and brisket, which a lot of it we pre-cooked anyway. But we were able to do that and had family help us. So that was a way to get to do both of them. Now, there's not a lot today. I don't see much of that. I mean, I see barbecue festivals, but there's just not a lot of competitions that have a huge amount of barbecue vendors where it's an organized event, at least where we cook. There may be one vendor set up if they think they're going to have a little public, but nothing like the tens of thousands of people that were at these events.
Yeah.
So we had it easy. I mean, it was tough. Don't get me wrong. It was tough, but it was an easy way to go knock out 10, 15, almost $20,000 worth of sales in a weekend, which was huge dollars in sales compared to what we did on a weekly basis back then started.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a balance because, the trophy sells, right? You want the trophy. The trophy, by having the trophy, makes you legit.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get the trophy if you're going to work. So there's this balance, and so early on, even before we opened Smokey D's, when Sherry and I had the catering business in our driveway, we had a lot of friends and family that knew how to do barbecue. So it allowed me to, let's say we had a wedding on Saturday. I could cook that meat on Thursday, cool it down, process it, leave a smoker behind. A family member could come over, just heat stuff up and go deliver it to the wedding.
Yeah.
And we would pay them for doing it, but it always helps to have that neighbor or family member. You got to pay them. You can't expect them to do it for free. But it allowed you to cater without being there. So it's having that support group. If you don't have that support group, kind of hard. You're probably not going to find much time to be on the barbecue circuit. But the other thing about being on the barbecue circuit is, unless you do it a lot, it's almost impossible to win that trophy. Not impossible in today's world, but it's tough. It's very tough to be good and consistent on the barbecue trail without cooking. I don't think I was very consistent at all this year cooking 17 contests. I seem to be in streaks that I was consistent when I cooked 3 or 4 in a row. You became consistent, but if you're only gonna, so it's it's a balance. It's a balance of what's more important, and they both feed. The
Yeah.
competition is. That's why I still do it today. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun. Would my time be better spent in the restaurant improving processes and kissing babies? And yeah, probably. But I've never
Kissing
been
babies?
that guy. Yeah, shaking hands, kissing babies. The old political
Oh,
thing.
got it. I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Well, you're shaking hands, kissing babies. You're roaming around it. And I've never been that guy in our restaurant from day one because, and it's just I've never been that guy. Will I walk through the restaurant and check on people? Yes, but I'm not there every single day roaming our restaurant, right? Because some restaurants are all about the owner. I don't want the restaurant for me to be all about me, right? So,
right. I feel like it is though, a little bit.
It is a little bit, but it is not.
It wasn't intentional.
You go to some of the restaurants and their food is lackluster. But if the owner's working the room every hour and everybody meets the owner and has a story with the owner, instantly that food becomes better. It's a balance. It's like you can go have mediocre food and amazing service.
Yeah.
And it's still, you'll go back. Right? But you can have great food and horrible service. And you may go back, but chances are you're not.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, speaking of great food, we went yesterday. We were out roaming around and we were doing stuff for this house and, the blinds people and the outdoor kitchen people. And, we're building this new house down here. And so we're trying to, get this stuff all lined out.
Yeah. Didn't know you were building a new house down there.
Yeah, building a new house.
Nice.
So anyway.
So yeah.
But so we're going around doing all this stuff. And then we said, hey, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Let's just stop at this place that changed hands. It used to be a kind of a barbecue place, but my wife's like, I want to stop there. And I'm like, that's a barbecue place. She's like, no, it's not. It changed hands. I'm like, okay, we'll go in. And we just had the absolute best service, right? This gal was just as friendly. She knew when to be there, but when not to be. But we ordered these pot stickers. We ordered these pot stickers that were, you could get them steamed or pan-seared. I said, give us pan-seared. And then we had wings. And Sherry loves sweet chili wings. She loves wings. And they were both phenomenal over-top good. Phenomenal over-the-top good with over-the-top service. And now it's like, we're going here from here on out. Right. I mean, it was just, and it didn't hurt that it was 85 degrees and sunny and a light breeze and we're under a tiki hut and it was, it had that whole Florida vibe.
Yeah.
But it was just an amazing experience. So, of course, I went to the store last night. Of course, I'm going to make my own pot stickers, but they didn't have anything. So I bought some pot stickers. I'm like, oh, we'll try these ones that are frozen and
you
thaw
the same thing twice yesterday?
No.
Oh.
No, by the time we ate that, we got back. We're like, let's just have a couple appetizers and we'll have dinner later. Well, at 7:00 after a couple beers and pot stickers and wings, I was still full. And I'm like, you want to eat? She's like, I'm not super hungry, but I think I'll be way hungry if I don't eat. So we had some leftover homemade meatballs that so I took these. She's been eating them in her omelet every morning. She's like, what do you want? Give me a meatball in the omelet. I'm like, really? Because I make her breakfast every morning. And so I make her, and she's like, this is phenomenal. I'm like, well, we got some meatballs left, but it'll take away your breakfast. But so we had these really good rolls, these Italian bread, crunchy on the outside, very chewy. And I cut the sides off of it and put garlic butter on it and grilled it like a lobster roll, like our handheld at the Ornery Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And did that and then put meatballs on the inside of it.
So like a little meatball sub kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a little meatball. We split one of those and it was
that sounds good.
She still had meatball left for breakfast this morning.
Yeah. Nice. I recognize that I took advantage of having a personal chef for a week. And now that I'm home, I'm not gonna touch that stove. And I've been eating in deli meat. I made myself a ham sandwich last night. And I was like, man, I really miss the luxury of having like a well cooked meal. But
what's those noodles? What's those noodles? I was in the grocery store yesterday, and on my TikTok feed and Instagram feed is full of this Tamuku or whatever. It's who's the chef? Somebody Chang.
Look it up. I've gotten more onto like the food. My brother and I like to send a lot of food stuff because JJ, my brother, loves to cook, and so I send him recipes all the time, and I'm like, hey, next time you're at my house, will you make this? I'll buy the groceries, but will you make it? And the big thing that we saw was oh god, it was like this chicken parm thing that looked absolutely phenomenal, and I was like, I wonder if we could put that at the restaurant, at the OC. Let me see if I can find it.
Chicken parm's easy because we're already doing the chicken. We just got to do a panko breading, and I mean, it's not hard.
Well, it was like a pizza. I don't even know how to explain this. Oh, it was a garlic bread. It was a chicken parm grilled cheese loaf. And it looks, I don't know if you guys will be able to, that's the guy eating it. It was, I'm going to send it to you. But yeah, it like the end of it, this is what it looked like at the end.
It's like really good. Now I can't find these noodles. I'm scrolling
I don't know if,
through.
like,
I'm scrolling through Instagram here. Whoa, geez, hang on. It went to TikTok.
Like, look at that.
But yeah,
if we could make one of those, we had that as a shareable game changer.
Shareable is a game changer. But these noodles,
I mean, yeah, for like
these
just
noodles
fried
are. It's this guy.
Yeah.
It's Tamaku noodles or whatever. It's a Japanese noodle that's like ramen, but it's not fried. It's air fried.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. And it's got different flavors of it. And they were mixing Chili Crunch. Same company has Chili Crunch. They were mixing Chili Crunch and then an over easy egg on top of it, and then scrambling it all up in there in the yolk and mixing the noodles in. Looked really good. I had it in my hand yesterday. It's like $11. I'm like, this is $11 for fucking noodles.
Hey man, that's just our reality.
I know.
It's tough.
I know. I saw that. I saw on the news, California, minimum wage going to $20 for food service workers. $20 for food service workers in California.
Hey man, you kind of have to. Like, it's just, it's hard to live. It's hard to live.
Oh, I understand, but the funny part of it, $20 an hour, unless the restaurant sells its own bread. Okay, that's the exemption.
Wait a minute. Sells its own bread?
They have to make or sell their own bread. Right?
Cannot do that?
Well, so I'm guessing the guy at Subway had a shit pot full of money and gave money to the California governor saying, hey, we're putting this in with no bread because Johnny gave us $2 million on the backside. Bread. So guess what? I'm predicting it right now. The McLoaf. The McLoaf is coming out. You're going to be able to buy a loaf of bread at McDonald's.
That's crazy. That is such an absurd rule.
It's stupid. I tried to investigate it this morning. I couldn't find the actual law to read it. I didn't spend much time on it. But
what's the point?
Things like that drive me crazy.
Yeah, because it's weird.
But if the market is $20, here's my problem with the thing. Anybody that's worth their weight in gold is making $15 an hour, right?
Yeah.
If you're worth a crap at all, you have the ability in the food service world to make $15, $20, $25 an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With a little effort and a good work ethic and showing up on time, whatever, you have that ability to make that happen. Right?
Yeah.
So
you would think it would be that easy.
No. It's pretty easy. It actually is pretty easy, but
I feel like that doesn't carry though for everybody.
Right, but most of the time, food service jobs, and I feel like we try and treat it differently, but food service jobs are usually a stepping stone job, right? So they're a stepping stone that, hey, it's a part-time job for everybody. Okay, so there's a lot of high school kids or college kids working that. They don't. So those people don't need a living wage, right? Because they're living with mom and dad, right? Or on the other end, you get a lot of retired people that I see working that they're on Social Security, but they want more, right? They want more, so they work to get more. It's not that they need more to survive. They want more, so they want more, so they work more, and I applaud that. But very rarely in a non-managerial role that pays under $15 an hour do you see somebody in the food service business that's their career. Now, we have a lot of people that I want it to be their career. But we're also not, there's nobody that earns under $15 an hour. Now, they may get paid 12 or 13 or $14 an hour, but by the time they get done their entire package with tips and everything, we have very few people that make under $20 an hour. Okay. And still, I still think that's a very hard wage to live on.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So there's this generational thing, and I didn't think where this was going, but there's this generational thing is when I grew up, that if you were going to have a job in an apartment that didn't pay enough, what did you do? You got a roommate, right?
Right.
That's what happened. You had one or two or three or four guys live together in an apartment, or at our point, it was right out of college. It was Sherry and I. We lived together, so we had double income. So it wasn't all on yourself.
That is still pretty common. I mean, I don't, but that's not for...
I understand.
I mean, it's not like I'm not open to a roommate, but...
But you've made that jump, and your life would probably be a lot easier financially with a roommate, but you're able to make it down, and I applaud you for that, right? Because you've got that drive to, hey, I want to be a homeowner rather than paying rent to somebody else. And
because it was cheaper. I bought my house because it was... have a mortgage payment and build equity for $700 a month, or get an apartment that was not very big for almost $1,300 a month, and that didn't include parking or a dog fee.
So why?
So it's like, why? Okay, what was the point?
Right. So why don't people think like that?
Well, it's kind of hard to buy. It's kind of hard to buy a house. I feel like, and a lot of the a lot of the times when they're starting out, they'll, people my age have roommates, and I wasn't, opposed to a roommate. I just didn't have anybody to room with. It's either that or move back in with my parents. Yeah. No, thank you. No. Mom, I love you so much.
They'd probably like that now. They'd probably like that now. They're being empty nesters. They'd probably like
Bro, they got another dog.
You kidding me?
No. He's cute as hell. His name's Simon. But empty nesters for a couple months ago.
Also, I see the people, the younger generation. They don't want to mow a lawn. They don't want to deal with anything associated with. It sucks, but it's part of being a homeowner.
The only time you ever hear me say, "I wish I was renting," was when shit hits the fan, or in my case, my plumbing goes out. And I'm like, this really sucks.
Or when there's a foot of snow in the driveway, or when there's...
I don't mind pushing. I don't mind, shoveling snow.
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn. I also like doing that. I just don't have a lawnmower, so it's just more work to get that to my house. Because I don't have a shed. I don't have a place to put.
I don't have a lawnmower, so...
I have to have my dad come out.
Like the old days, just get you a lawnmower and then put a galvanized bucket over the motor, so when it rains, it doesn't rain on the motor.
No. No, we're gonna pass on that. But yeah, I think it's a lot of it is the whole luxury of if something happens, I don't have to pay for it. So in the long run, it might seem cheaper, but it's not. It's still not.
Right. So
It's
I see all these apartments and whatever.
yeah.
And one of the other things that we had talked about was growing the business and different
Mm-hmm.
segments of the business. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the segue, because in order to be successful,
Oh yeah.
you got to know
You
your
gotta grow.
crowd, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of came up with the ornery chicken and the crafty mac, right? So
Mm-hmm.
barbecue's barbecue. Barbecue is comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue isn't, the old retirees love the daily specials, the hot roast beef
Mm-hmm.
and the chicken fried steak, and it's
Yeah.
the comfort food. And
Yeah.
almost everybody loves barbecue, but the younger
Mm-hmm.
crowd, they like barbecue, but they like the twist. They like the adventure. And we
Mm-hmm.
talked a little bit
Yeah.
about this way back on. They
Yeah.
like the adventure of different things. And it's hard for us to do that at the barbecue restaurant. It's tough.
Yeah.
And we've
Right.
talked about that many times, that
Yeah, our
one single
demographic is
menu item in that restaurant, you got to teach 90 people how to do it.
yeah.
Right? Whether it's a cashier, somebody on the prep line, somebody on the front line, somebody in carry out, bartender, everybody has to know
Yeah.
everything about it. So it's really tough to get that message out, right?
Right.
Almost to the point that I've talked about putting big graphics in the kitchen, whatever menu board type stuff in the kitchen, that just when we have communication that we want everybody to know,
Mm-hmm.
it's up there. Hey, we're
Like a
introducing
P-
this new
Yeah.
sandwich. It's this and this and this and this, and it'll be prepped by
Like a
this
breaking
person
news
and
thing.
whatever. Yeah, just kind of instead of writing notes on a board, we have it spread far
Yeah.
out, so that if I want everybody to know something, I can just go into the software and put it in.
It's an
just
interesting
as a way of
tactic.
communication. But that's tough. So
Mhm.
that's why we did the ornery chicken and the crafty mac. And that's why our spicier sandwiches go to the younger generation. They love it. It's a great
Oh yeah.
sandwich.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of keeping up with the times, because it's reaching that segment that the barbecue segment doesn't reach.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because as you grow, and as I have different ideas for stuff, why I have different ideas is, once you get into the restaurant business,
Mhm.
barbecue is just a segment. So if you can successfully run a restaurant, if you can run a barbecue restaurant, which I would say is one of the toughest restaurants to run, just because of the higher cost of food, with the food cost associated with proteins. And when you put something in the smoker, you lose 50% of the weight of it. It takes a long time to cook most barbecue. Your briskets and your pork butts and your main staple items, your burn-ins, everything you sell takes a long time to cook.
Yeah.
It's 12, 13, 14 hours to cook. So you have to predict. So it's tough that way. But once you become good at running a restaurant, it's very easy to open other restaurants. Right?
That makes sense.
I mean, I've got my eyes on a breakfast restaurant. I'll swallow it up, because it's super easy, right? Because it's all about, and Emma looks, goes, oh my God, Darren's on a roll again. But it's all about building your business. Because like we've talked about before, if you think you're going to get rich running a little barbecue restaurant on the street corner that's only open a few hours a day, that's only going to do $250,000 worth of sales in a year, I'm here to tell you, you're going to work your ass off. It's going to be yours. It's kind of like you owning a home, right? It's going to be yours. Nobody can take that away from you.
Right.
But you're never going to get to the point that gets you the freedom of being away from there and hiring a level of management that can manage the daily operations.
Right.
So it's all about scaling. It's all about scaling. And so I'm constantly looking for the next opportunity. You got the ghost kitchen. Is there opportunity in the ghost kitchen? You bet there is. We're only open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. We're only open 11 to 7. There's opportunities. There's probably late night opportunities of stuff that most people aren't open.
In Ankeny? I don't know.
Maybe not in Ankeny. And that's the problem. That's part of the problem with Ghost Kitchen is it's an
Ankeny.
And Ankeny's just Ankeny is a chain restaurant town.
Yeah, it's a family, want it quick and easy and can just go straight through a drive-through,
Yeah. It is. Ankeny is a very.
We would thrive if we could get a location, if like closer to downtown on a Friday, Saturday night, and I could schedule my food to be ready for pickup as soon as I'm done at the bars. We would thrive in that department, I think, personally, because I would kill.
Do people still go to bars downtown?
Oh yeah,
they do.
It's getting better. Yeah, I'm going this weekend.
Well, so it used to be until Court Avenue became
dangerous.
Dangerous.
I think Court Ave's kind of. I mean, might be kind of switching its pay. It might be on the up and up. I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, I know they
fully.
had some. I know they had a lot of bars that shut down because of.
Yeah, I mean, they come reopened them in different locations.
We're closing everything at 10:00 at night.
Yeah, well, they did that. Yeah, they had last year's New Year's Eve. They had a curfew, so they were closed before midnight. It's like, well, that's gonna hurt everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I've only been to Court Avenue a couple times.
Yeah.
Out. At night.
Yeah.
Friends go, hey, let's go to Court Avenue. In my younger years. And we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's nice.
We once had a boys' night out downtown with all my high school buddies. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's just say it was crazy. Ended up in a wrestling match in the back of a country in a company van with our bartender driving because they were sober. And we called them and said, hey, can you bring a company van and get us? But blood all over the place from a wrestling match. A friend of mine having to take a whiz really bad. And so I'm standing next to him at the bar and he's not paying attention. I'm like, Doug, what are you doing? Shut up. I'm pissing. Oh, did I just say Doug?
Whoops.
But that was downtown. Downtown was crazy in Ruckus. And I didn't know if that scene was still closed off the street.
They do that. I mean, it's like super cop infested. So like if your friends
cop infested,
they're everywhere. They are everywhere.
You mean patrolled for safety?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a nicer list. I didn't think that's just the way I thought of saying it. But like, you have to be careful because if you even look, I mean, this is not for me; it's from my friends. But if you look slightly white girl wasted, we're gonna have issues. So,
really? Please explain.
Oh, what do you mean?
I want
white
to
girl
go
wasted?
From running a barbecue business to white girl wasted.
Well, just drunk as a skunk. Can't get much worse. And if you can't stand up, they're gonna come up to you. So you gotta look.
The cops are gonna come up to you?
Yeah. I mean, you can still get.
I didn't know if you meant the guys are gonna come up and try
and rape cops.
you.
Sorry.
The cops. Okay.
Whoa.
What?
That is such a jump. Why would you say that? Oh my gosh. Anyway.
It reminds me of a saying when we were in college, right?
Oh,
so my buddies would go out to the bar, and one of them said, "I'm going ugly early." I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, if you take the ugly girl home early from the bar, you can get done with her, and you can come back to the bar and get one of the drunk cute ones later."
Oh my god!
Go ugly early.
That is.
I lived in a different generation. It was so much fun.
I mean, it's really not that different, but
it's not.
No, don't say it.
You just don't want to say it. Oh, you just don't say it. It's not.
God,
it's not proper.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the business. That was a bad tangent.
Good tangent. Good memories. Geez. But yeah, so it's all about catering to that crowd. And how do you do that? Is it a food truck outside the bars, which are very popular, right?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea too. Because drunk people just want food.
They just want food. They need food.
Yeah.
It's not that they even want it, they need it.
Dude, the fact that like Taco Bell is really the only thing that's open anymore when the bars close, and it takes forever to get to one when you're downtown. So they just need more options. That like you could get Fong's Pizza, but there's always an absurd wait down there, and also it's kind of pricey for when you're drunk.
Why?
I feel like,
yeah, because they
and
don't
I
care
think because
people are going to pay.
Yeah, I think there's one. I can't think of its name, but there's downtown, kind of close to Fong's. There's like this underground burrito place. I can't think what it's called, but it's a pretty good location too. It's right next to Fong's, but also even closer to the bars. So people go there. But there's not many options.
So
there should be more.
So I need to start looking for that, because
that's a whole different crowd to hit.
Well, it's a whole different crowd to hit. It's just, and it's food. Doesn't matter what the food is. What food's good that drunk people want. Like in Iowa City, I know my buddies always talked about the gyro guy. So they'd come out of the bar, and here was the gyro guy with the street food cart, which works during the summertime when people aren't in college. But when it gets to be wintertime and the dead of winter, it gets a little tougher. So there's not a huge window there. Because when it's 20 below, I'm assuming people are running to their cars, not running to a food truck. Is that not true?
No. When you're drunk, you're warm.
Oh, well.
No. But I like to be responsible, so most of the time I'm driving. I don't know.
Right. But back to the business. So it's about capitalizing on the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's about capitalizing and figuring out, if you spend more time figuring out what the customer wants, then that's where your opportunity is. So don't get stuck in a rut that says, I'm just a barbecue guy if the customer wants comfort food, or if the customer wants chicken or whatever. If the requests come, and you don't want to change, it's like at the bar, somebody walks in and say, hey, I want peanut butter whiskey. So we buy peanut butter whiskey, and they don't come in anymore, and we have peanut butter whiskey on the shelf for whatever, and then we sell it at a discount to get rid of it 6 months later because we're sick of inventorying it and it's going to get old. Right?
Yeah, that one seemed a little like it was coming from experience.
Oh, all kinds of experience. When we first started our bar at the 2nd Avenue location, I told Sherry, I said, okay, we're going to have one vodka, one whiskey, a gin, a rum, whatever. We're just going to have Jack Daniels and Captain Morgan and Bacardi and Tito's and whatever. We're only going to have 5 or 6 things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we inventory 120 some bottles every week. Just
I didn't realize it was that many.
Oh, there's just crap.
Yeah.
Stuff that we'll never. I mean, we have scotch sitting there that we'll never ever get and drink.
Oh, and one of our problems is a lot of people don't know we have a bar.
Yeah, and crazy.
And I feel like our
front door and the cheapest beer in town.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of we're big in lunch, so not a lot of people don't drink over lunch.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Interesting. What else?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
I don't. I'm always running out of content ideas, so I like to talk about things. I did last night. I was having a conversation. So I have a friend in Southeast Iowa, and he's a news writer. He's also a teacher. Hey, Buck. Shout out to Buck. But anyway, Buck's grew up with Buck, and on the side he writes for the Burlington Hawkeye, and he loves to write, and so for years he's written for the Burlington Hawkeye, and he wrote a book. He wrote a book about our high school football team, and I don't know how he has this vivid memory, and he got input from other people, not me, because I don't remember shit. But
that checks out.
He wrote this book, and he only published it to like 5 of us or 6 of us, this book. And he says, okay, I'm done. I wrote my book. Well, so we win the Hall of Fame, and he goes, hey, I want to write an article for the Hawkeye about you winning the Hall of Fame, kind of the local hometown boy. And I said, okay. So he goes, I'll send you 15 questions. And so he sends me 15 questions. And I mean, they were amazing questions. I have never been asked by a reporter such intricate, detailed questions that whatever. And I thought maybe we should do a podcast. I'd love to have Buck on a podcast if he's, sometime we can find out when he's not teaching. But talk about writing. So I answered all these questions. It took me 10 minutes. I had a lot of fun. I told him, I said, I've never had more fun replying to interview questions than I did here. They were just intricate and whatever. And he's like, let's write a book. He goes, I want to write a book about you. And my wife, of course, she's like, yeah, do that. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure anybody's going to buy this book. And so just for the shit of it, I got on ChatGPT last night and I said, write a book about Darren Worth and Smokey D's barbecue. And it just
You did not.
Oh, I did. And it whipped off this entire book.
No way.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
I'm going to do it right now and see if I get one.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Right?
And it wrote this book, and it just gave me like 5 chapters to the book, and it talked about just things. It wasn't anything detailed, but I'm like, this is a great basis. Now you could take that and just make it more in detail and put stories but I mean, it was just crazy.
You did it, write a book about Darren Worth from what? Did you, after the Darren Worth?
Hang on, I'll look. I gotta look up the old chat. If you guys are using artificial intelligence, it's very interesting.
I love ChatGPT.
I said, write a book about Darren Worth, the owner of Smokey D's Barbecue in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. If this actually sends...
Oh, it will. It will.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it goes on.
Darren Worth's love affair with barbecue began the unlikeliest places. A small town in Iowa. That's what it says.
I wonder if it wrote the same thing for me.
Oh, the secret to Smokey D's success wasn't just the food. It was the warm hospitality, the sense of community, the dedication to providing customers with unforgettable dining experiences. Darren and Sherry created a restaurant where friends, families, and barbecue enthusiasts alike could gather to savor the simple pleasures of life. What a what a sentence.
So what's interesting is when I did that, last night it didn't mention Sherry.
Oh yeah,
but yours just mentioned Sherry. So I think every day we're going to do this. Every day we're going to go to ChatGPT and whatever. And by the time we get 15 of these, we'll have a book. It's just a matter of sorting them.
This is BS, but it's kind of fun. Smokey D's wasn't built overnight. Darren's relentless pursuit of perfection led him to explore different barbecue regions and styles, from Texas to Kansas City to the Carolinas. He sought out mentors and experts who could help him refine his craft. With each smoke ring and savory bite, he inched closer to the barbecue heaven he envisioned. It's just cheesy as hell.
But isn't that crazy?
That's so funny. That's actually hilarious.
It's crazy. Is that still
I got
free?
10 chapters.
Yeah, it is. You did? Okay, so I want you to copy that and send it to me. You can download it.
It's not really chapters. It's like, right. I mean, they're paragraphs, but...
I want you to send that to me. I want you to... there's the arrow there where you can copy it and paste it and send it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I want to compare the two.
Did you just tell me how to copy and paste?
Shut up. I did. I did.
Dude. I mean, I know I'm like a little bit older now, but I'm not that old. Jesus. Teach me how to do my own thing. I'd already copied and pasted it.
You sent it to my text?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just closer to where I was at. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, see, there's the... I'm going to do what's easiest for me, not what's easiest for Darren.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway. So if you're not using ChatGPT,
you should.
You should.
I love it.
It's pretty smart.
You should.
It's crazy.
I've made quite a few things in Chat. Most of our captions actually come from ChatGPT. Not to give out all my secrets. It's hard to come up with captions every day. So.
It is.
I use that.
So
I also used it for some other stuff.
AI. It's a scary world, but
yeah,
that's fine.
We're not like that into AI. There was an article I read, I skimmed, about how a guy had an AI girlfriend. Like, he pretty much ChatGPT a girlfriend, and to impress her, he tried to break into, I think it was a castle of some sort. It was some England thing. But I was like, wow, this shit's crazy.
Crazy world. Crazy made up world. Okay.
But
well,
anyway.
I think that's about it. We're starting to ramble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you want to learn a lot about yourself, just go type yourself into ChatGPT and ask him to write a book.
I feel like that might not be for everybody.
Yeah, maybe not. But still fun.
I feel like
nonetheless.
Yeah. Anyway, episode 29. Cue the mic.
Until next time.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us. We are at Cue the Mic. What? At Cue the Mic podcast.
At Cue the Mic podcast.
Yeah. On Instagram, Threads, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever you call it, and YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. We love watching those follower counts go up. It also, we've been trying to, get more insight on how many listeners we actually had. So if you guys could download this episode on whatever podcast platforms you're on, it just kind of shows us that you're here, and we can get, more information on who's listening and kind of our demographics and stuff and all those good analytics that I love. So yeah, download this episode. Save it for later. Listen to it again if you want.
I listened to our last one this morning on my walk.
It's Randy Twyford.
Yesterday.
Well, you didn't get to listen to the whole thing.
I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, and you didn't even know that.
I did not. Because it uploaded the whole.
It didn't download the whole episode.
It uploaded the whole file.
I got done with my 2-mile walk, and I'm like, "Hey, we didn't cut it off like that. Randy never got to talk."
Yeah,
well,
and also I was surprised. I was surprised my mom didn't say anything because she listened to it like first thing Tuesday morning. Hey, Mom, did you even notice?
It was a hard cutoff.
Yeah.
Huh.
Come on. But no, it's updated, so you guys get the whole episode now.
Sounds good.
Anyway, yeah. So until next time.
Okay.
That was Cue the Mic. See you guys next week.